Hello and welcome back to Old Truthford. This is the match reaction / player ratings for the Newcastle v United game. Obviously, not the result we wanted. Final score 1-0 Newcastle in what is possibly one of the worst games I've watched in the past few years of United. We were absolutely toothless. We were outworked. And it looked as though we didn't have any belief that we were going to score. It wasn't until the 80th minute where we actually switched on and tried to do anything. And yeah, it's the less spoken about that game, the better. Okay, so we're going to go through my personal player ratings, and then we're going to go through, on average, the Discord player ratings. So first things first, Onana, I think he had a decent game. Obviously conceded, but didn't really have too much to do. Newcastle didn't have too many shots on target. But yeah, I'll give Onana a 6.3. Maguire, I thought Maguire was actually one of our best players. Made a lot of blocks. Obviously was in the position to stop Anthony's goal. And led it to being called offside, so that wasn't good, but made a lot of blocks this game. I'm going to go 6.7. I think it was slightly above average. Sure, I think it was, average. Did what it was supposed to do. Wan-Bissaka, it was his man that scored that he should have kept on to. So I'm going to have to give Wan-Bissaka 5.9. As for Delo, Jamie, how you doing, Jamie? How's it going? For Delo, I didn't think that he was that bad, but still, well, the attack came from our right-hand side, so it did come from Delo's side. I don't know if that was both him and Garnacho switching off or what happened there. I'll have to watch it back. But Delo, I'm going to give him do I give him? I'd say it was equal to Wan-Bissaka, if I'm being honest. Mainu, I think Mainu was average, did the best that he could do. Slightly below average, though, because obviously no particular highlights. I'm going to give him a 6.3. McTominay, I can't remember what McTominay did in that game. I'm going to give him a 5.8. Fernandes, I'm going to have to give Fernandes a 5.9 as well. I don't know what Fernandes did particularly well in that game. Garnacho, well, our only shot on target for the first 80 minutes of the game or whatever came from Garnacho, so I'll give him slightly above average. I'll give him a 6.6. I think he was our biggest threat, won a lot of fouls. Martial, completely anonymous, giving him a 5. Rashford, completely anonymous. Did he do more or less than Martial, or did they do the same? I'd say they did the same. I'm giving him a 4.95, which would be a 5. I'll just give him 4.9. I think Rashford was slightly worse than Martial, and it is getting to the point with Rashford where even I'm getting a bit tired of the performances. He's not doing the basics, and it's costing us. Now I'll go over to the on average player ratings from the Old Truthford Discord. So let me just pull these up. So Old Truthford Discord did vote Maguire as man of the match. That's good to see that we're on the same page there. Let's see. Okay, so Onana picked himself up an average score on the Discord of a 4.5, which in my opinion was a little harsh. I mean, conceded, but he did look a bit shaky though, if we're being honest. But I think people are still holding the Galatasaray result in their minds for that player rating. As for Maguire, Maguire picked himself up a score of 7.4. Okay, Maguire did impress. Maguire did impress a lot of people. As for Shaw, Shaw has picked himself up an average player rating of, quick maths here, 6.9. So again, Shaw above average. I did put their scores down slightly because it's not as though we kept a clean sheet. If we're being honest, I think that we could have defended that goal a lot better, and that goes for the entire back line. Okay, Delo's average performance, average rating. Let's see what he picks up. Okay, Delo on average gets a score of 4.4. So the lowest so far out of everyone in the team. Aaron Wan-Bissaka gets an average rating of 5.3. Okay, so based on the Discord, Aaron Wan-Bissaka gets an average rating of 5.3. If anyone wants to join the Discord, drop me a message on Instagram and I'll get you in. It's just a chat full of United fans, pretty much. So let's see what people voted for Mainu. I think Mainu had a decent game. I don't think he did anything too glaringly obvious. He had one misplaced pass, which was quite obvious, but other than that, pretty good. So yeah, 6.2, fairly average performance from Mainu. Kept the ball well, but yeah, just couldn't really capitalise off anything. McTominay. So the average rating for McTominay in that match was 4.2. Okay, so McTominay is our new lowest performing player. Not surprised with that. McTominay was anonymous. Fernandez has picked himself up a score of 5.8. Okay, good for Fernandez. His scores are terrible of Maguire's, really, and Shaw's. Garnacho. I wonder if people will be harsh on Garnacho. Okay, Garnacho has picked himself up an average rating of 6.4, so they haven't been too harsh on him. Really was our only attacking threat, if we're being honest. Martial gets an average score from our Discord of 4.2. Okay, so he's tied with McTominay for the worst performance. And here is where I would not be shocked if Rashford gets an even lower score than this, if I'm being honest. Ilmi, can we please stop with these unreal ratings? They all deserve 0. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, mate. They only played 10 minutes of football, so it's like, how do you even rate that? But Rashford has picked himself up an average score of 3.1. Man. We never even touched the ball. No, we didn't. It's tragic. It's just tragic, to be honest with you, mate. But yeah, those are the player ratings for the Discord. They're slightly harsher than mine, but yeah, again, I'm not gonna argue. I think that was one of the most boring performances I've seen all season. Really, it felt like we had no hope. Nobody believed that they were going to do anything. But yeah, Ilmi, Bro, this is catastrophic. You think Newcastle are the biggest team in the world? Oh my god. You know, if this keeps up in a couple of years, they're actually going to start saying that they're the team which should be called United. You know that's going to happen, right? Like, these players don't know what's at stake. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there and just try and etch this out of my memory. but yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next stream. Godspeed.